Hi, everyone. This is Shalece. I'm a compulsive eater and food addict in Phoenix, Arizona. And so Lulu and I have been arguing back and forth as to who should start this recording. And so I drew the short stick. Wait, no, I drew the long stick. No. So it has come to mind a couple of times this week that it would be a great idea to talk about priorities in recovery. Before I came to this program, before I came to where I'm at today, I had my priorities totally out of whack. And so I really am very grateful for my sponsor in setting me straight on how things have got to go. If I want long-term recovery, which is, I had really kind of no idea what that looked like at first, but if I would like to continue to stay abstinent and not go back to compulsive overeating, then there's a certain order that I need to follow, a certain priority list that I need to have. And I'm going to turn it over to Lulu to introduce. I'm going to turn it over to Lulu to introduce that priority list because I'm sorry, nobody does it better. So there we go.
Oh, you stinker. I just put my legs up. I just got all comfy, got my water, ready to listen to you for 15 minutes. Oh, you little stinker. Remind me, I owe you one. I owe you one. Okay, priorities. Priorities. Well, I've heard it said in program so many times. This is like back when I was in my 40s when I was in program, which was 20 years ago. Program, family, job. That's the priority. Program, family, job. And I thought to myself, who are these people? Like, I'm going to put program before my kids. Like, makes no sense. I'm going to put program before my job. Oh, I can't go to work today because I have to go to my program, right? It's like, I need to pay the mortgage and I'm raising kids. And it made no sense. It made no sense at all, which is why I didn't have lasting sobriety in abstinence and program, because my mind was closed to most suggestions. My mind was closed. So then after I did another decade and a half of pain, I came back and I hit a new bottom that provided me a new level of open-mindedness. That's what that bottom did. So I was listening. So I was thinking, now how does this make sense? Program, family, job. Bottom line is that if I don't have a strong program, like my family and job are going to be a struggle. Maybe not awful, but there's going to be challenges. There's going to be all these relationships, coworkers, my kids, my husband, my cousins, my mother-in-law, and then at work, it's like, I got the commute and I got so many things to get me twisted up and so many things that are going to complicate my life and so many things that I need to accept that I don't want to accept. I just want everybody to change. And that's how it keeps going and the beat goes on. But when I make program a priority, doesn't mean go to a meeting instead of going to work. It doesn't mean that. It means that don't not go to meetings because using the family and job as an excuse. I need to find the times that work for me. If I'm working full time and I'm raising kids, which I'm not right now, so things are much more flexible. But I was at that time. I need to say, this is what I need to do. This is when I need to do food prep. I need to pack this food and bring it to work every day. I need to make time for that. Like, that's the stuff that takes priority. It's not like, oh, my kid wants to play checkers and I have food prep to do. But my kid's more important. And I'm going to go play checkers with my kid because we're bonding, you know. Um, and now I don't have food to take with me tomorrow to go to work. And now my abstinence might be compromised. And then I come home, and now if my abstinence, you know, wasn't strong enough to make it through not being prepared, then I come home and forget checkers. Now I'm yelling at the kid. Okay. Because it's like, I don't even want to look at you now because I hate myself, you know? So it's like, how can I bring myself to a space where I love myself and I care so much about myself? Of course I care about you, you know, whether I'm playing checkers or not, whether I have time to play checkers or not, you know. My priority is my food, my abstinence, my sponsee work, my meetings, and my spiritual studies that I do. I do like book studies with people, and we just share on all kinds of spiritual literature that nourishes me. And it's all just in bits and pieces. It's not big, huge Bible studies that are 2 hours long. It's what I need, that I feel like my step 11 is working and that I'm spiritually maturing. And, uh, if I'm at work and I'm weighing, I got my scale out on my desk. I've only been retired less than a year. So most of my abstinence I was working. And I'd have my scale on my desk, and I'm like, I just know I would take the early bus on Monday morning to get to work, to go across the street to the grocery store and get all the stuff for salads for the week, put them in the fridge at work, and then I would make my salads every day, and I weigh and measure my food, and of course it looks a little strange, all right. But if I'm going to be thinking about my career and like, oh my God, somebody's going to come by and see me with a scale. Oh, they would. They come by the scale and they'd be like, what, are you dealing drugs or something? Because they see this digital scale on my desk. And I'm like, yeah, you want something? Um, but I would have the bowl on there and I would be cutting I had a little teeny cutting board with a little knife, and I would cut my tomatoes and make my salads, and people would walk by, and it's just, it doesn't really matter. People are just curious. They're just making conversation. They're like, what are you doing? Like, you weighing a salad? And they'd like be chuckling. I'll be like, yeah, isn't that hysterical? I mean, I know it's cool. It's nuts, but that's what I do, And, but I just know that, like, I'm there to do my job and I'm there to stay abstinent. And I come home from work. I'm not coming home from work anymore with a big fat sandwich and a bottle of vodka. I'm not, and a pack of cigarettes. I'm not coming home from work. So it's almost like, oh, like, was I putting family first then? No, I was putting addiction first, because addiction, when you've got an active addiction, it basically is the master of your life. So basically, I had my master, and I might think like, oh, I'm a great mother, I'm a great worker, and I was a great mother, and I was a great worker. Okay, it wasn't like I totally sucked at life, but my addiction always came first. Although I would never be able to put that into words. It would, if somebody told me that's what I was doing, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't see it, and but I can certainly put my sobriety and my abstinence first. It's just like, when you really think about it like that, it kind of makes sense. All I know is that my family has extremely benefited by my sobriety and my abstinence, and my job, my work ethic, my performance only was only benefited by my abstinence. And I remember the last couple of years I worked, I remember my, evaluations, reviews that I would get with my boss, and she would just be like, like, you're like the most easygoing, most helpful person in this department. And I was new to the department too. And she's just like, you're just like a breath of fresh air every day you walk into this office. And I thought to myself, she's right, I am, because I could feel it. And it wasn't a show. It wasn't something like, well, let me go in and, get some brownie points tonight so I can get a bigger raise. I didn't even care what the raises were, Everyone's in there fighting. I'm not fighting anymore, And so that's how my job benefits by me being sober and abstinent, And my family, like I said, has totally, totally and completely benefited by um, my new design for living. And I changed myself. And they say, like, how can you, like, love other people and do wonderful things even at a job or whatever, do all this when you're destroying yourself. You're sitting home destroying yourself with food and alcohol and cigarettes and distraction. I'm going to get cupcakes now. I'm going to go get a pizza now. I'm going to go get this now. Oh, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to start Monday. That is what was robbing my family. And so today, I'm a firm believer of program, family, job. Just I had a sponsee recently that she was showing up for our sessions unprepared, and she talked about her busyness, and I was just like, if you're too busy for it, you got to let me know, because there's somebody else, I'm sure, that would like this slot if you're not into it. you know um do not show up again unprepared. Just don't do it. Just cancel with them. And everybody gets to do whatever they want. You're putting your job first, your boyfriend first, your kids first, whatever. Do it but don't show up. I don't know what you want from me. You know what I mean? I don't know what you want from me. um so God bless her that that she did rearrange the priorities, like that Shalece talked about. She just said, nope, I want this. I want it. Well, you gotta, what does Holland say? It's not for people that want it. It's not for people that need it. It's for people that do it. So you gotta do it, baby. And that's what I got on the priorities. What do you have, Shalece?
Lulu, I'm just waiting to see what you can do. And that's, thank you for really putting it in perspective and sharing, like, what that looks like, what putting program looks like. And for me, I use the word higher power and God and program interchangeably. So I could also say God first, then family, then work. And really everything that I do in program, putting my food on the scale, or putting my food on the frickin' scale, as some of our favorite friends in program say, and doing my step work, which helps me to find the truth and puts me in line with reality and gets me out of myself. All of that stuff, as Lulu said, benefits my family and my work. So it's truly there. If I want this, if I really, really, really want long-term sobriety and sanity, it's got to be this way. I've got to put these priorities in this order. Can sometimes things, I can catch myself with my priorities out of whack and take care of it. Absolutely. Like the only step that I need to take perfectly is step one. And again, bringing things back into balance can be done. And I've also had experiences with sponsees who, the priorities weren't there. And then they saw it. It's like, okay, I can see why the priorities have got to be this way. So sometimes we have to experience being out of balance so that we can create balance. But I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for this program in my life. I'm so grateful for my priorities today. I'm so grateful for my relationship with my family as the result of this. I was not a very fun person to be around when I was in the throes of addiction. I was a freaking mess. And these priorities are the things that keep me from going back to that. So I'm going to keep my priorities straight, I tell you. Thanks for listening.